a crafty carpenter, though. He's full of expression in the basement. He's even chatty, even silly sometimes. Dad turns up the volume on the radio. The host mentioned a contest coming up to win tickets to the Chiefs baseball game. Dad wants to be the 7th caller. He told me about his technique of waiting a beat before calling into the station to be the 7th caller, not the 6th. Timing is everything, he reminded me. Being off by a 10th of a second could mean lost opportunity, he said. I'm now only singing in my head, thinking about my time, my deep breaths of hot air every second. My arms are lower now, running against Dad's watch. I don't feel fast anymore. My pace has changed, too. This long stretching straightaway is the mark where all the truth creeps in, and time starts to feel slow. The heat and dirt start to feel grimy. The track feels cheap and undervalued. The sun is scorching my skin. But I rev up my legs to drag towards Dad's shoe-drawn finish line. I know every 10th of a second matters. I charge my arms and focus on the final curve ahead. Cold water is on my mind, and Dad believing I'll be faster. My calves are tight, tender from pushing them so hard. I'm so close. I want to push this last curve, but everything in me feels cramped up. After this, I know Dad will go to the basement and play his music and smoke among the dust and grime. He might want to be alone. After this run, I might not see him until tomorrow. I keep lifting my knees to keep my hopes high that I can make it. I imagine the numbers on Dad's watch rushing by me and rushing higher and higher. This is the final curve to plow through, and I can hear Dad calling me. When I've reached him, I've made it. The tendons behind my knees feel split and outstretched, as if they are rubber bands, just like the ones wrapped around Dad's wallet. But my legs are struggling to lengthen my stride any more. My arms and fists have become small nudges against the warm air, floppy and not high enough. Dad's arms are waving me in, his voice louder as I get closer, with more seconds passing on his watch. Come on, running rebel, let's go! I'm at the last leg of this interval, of proving all I've got. My legs and muscles are numb from this ruddy track. My body feels flopped against every rough dip and rut of my home track. I lean my body forward. I hurl myself right past him, right through Dad's scrape of a finish line on the dirt. I hear the beep of his watch. I fall to the ground, sprawling out into the hot, dry grass, taking deep breaths of warm air. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. I heave and gag, thinking I'm going to puke as Dad studies his watch. 2.3 seconds faster this time, running rebel. You're a whole 10 seconds faster than when we started out here at the beginning of the summer, Dad says, helping me up. I've barely caught my breath. He believes I could be faster than some 9th graders in the high school. I doubt it, but his eyebrows arching makes it a possibility. He reminds me that one day I could join a real cross-country team and track team. It's a big thought. Be on a real team. Run real races. Runners older than me, faster than me, way ahead of me. That someday I could go beyond these stomping grounds. I walk home beside Dad, realizing that I'm good at something. I had welcomed the test against time on the dirt track and faced it straight on. I wasn't going to be that girl who cried in class when the pressure to be correct was in the air, or when my classmates finished their tests before me next year. I know what it feels like to run through the pressure, and I suddenly feel ahead, as though I've learned the lesson of resilience and running against doubt. The flicker of Dad's lighter going off makes our time at Zog feel too fast. From the street, we can hear Heidi barking loudly in the back of the house. I give her a quick pet before I went inside to get some water. Dad is wrestling the lawnmower before going down to the basement. Inside, I grab the brown wallet from the cabinet and hold it carefully. The leather and string that had led me to this triumph at the track. A whiff similar to freshly turned dirt meeting the warm air. Even if it had impairments and didn't close shut on its own, it held the memories of time together with Dad. I had gained my runner legs. I hand the wallet back to him outside, never wanting the summer to end when he put it back in his pocket. The day will become when the last I ran at Zog. A year later, at the start of the summer, before I turned 10, my parents were separating. The apartment was on Old Liverpool Road, where the road splits in the village, where there was less sidewalks and no places to run. It was only 1 mile away from the greenhouse, but to me it was as though Dad was in a different country. Sometimes I would get dropped off to see Dad at the greenhouse while Mom went to run errands. Usually I started the conversation with my questions about the stars or the meaning of a certain song and tried to get him to arch an eyebrow. I tried not to follow him around too much. I didn't dare ask if he wanted to go to Zog. He took long naps on the couch, and during that time I started tiptoeing around to find any cans of beer I could, cracking them open so quietly and pouring the liquid down the drain. The red, curvy letters of the exotic German word were what had ruined our family. Then I would look at the wallet. The bulky leather wallet held the promise that everything that started with good seams would always be somehow in unison, together. And I would flip through the plastic photo sleeves just to make sure that my photo was still there.